Back again with the Spitballin Podcast. It's your boy Chris, and today we got a very special guest, a longtime family friend that I was growing up with in the hood, F Street and 11th.
No.
If you know San Bernardino, one of the first persons that I met when I got here from going to Mexico, and then we moved to here and there, and then boom, landed in SB around 5 years old or something like that. And I just want to give a little round of applause to my guy, Timo, right here.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Give it up to the people, Timo.
What up, man? How's everyone doing? So I appreciate you having me on here. You know, it's a pleasure. Like I said, we go way back, so
Yeah, we go way back.
Excited to be on here. Way back.
So the reason why I wanted to bring on Timo was because where we grew up from to then him deciding to join corrections and then become an Amazon reseller, as you could see on the banner. That was an interesting story for me, and I feel like a lot of people might find some motivation from it, might find some sort of inspiration to start a hustle, a side hustle, whatever they've been thinking that they wanted to do. So let's start from the beginning, Timo, where we grew up from, and then get into, from the beginning of where you grew up from that led you into the second stage of your life, which was deciding to go corrections as a career.
Yeah, I mean, you can recall this. You can recall, it wasn't the Dino wasn't. It's worse now, but it wasn't the greatest neighborhood to grow up in. You know what I mean? Growing up in the streets, and it was really easy. It's really easy to deviate away from kind of going on the right path, right? And I guess you can say, I never got caught, right? So which is why I didn't end up in prison or nothing like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, like growing up, single mom, single parent, single household. I had two other siblings that and
shout out to my guy Kenny and my guy Walter.
Yeah, so I mean, it wasn't the easiest growing up, especially in the environment that we grew up in. But we made it out, so that's what matters at the end of the day. So growing up, like you don't grow up kind of like saying, oh, I want to be a correction officer. Like, when I grow up, I want to be a CO. Like, motherfuckers don't, grow up to wanting to kind of pursue that career path. You kind of just stumble upon it. So years ago, I think it was like 15, 16 years ago, my older brother, joined the department. So I saw he was doing it, and he was making money, and I was like, damn, maybe there's something that I can do, right? Because at the time I was working at a warehouse, and driving a forklift, and
shout out McLean. Shout out McLean.
Yeah, McLean. Yeah. Shout out to McLean.
Shout out to the homie. Fuck, I freaking forgetting his name. No. Fuck. No.
He works at McLean.
Homie out here. I love this dude.
He still works there?
Yeah, he's a truck driver now.
Mark.
Mark! Oh my God. I'm
fucking
sorry, Mark. If you're listening, dog, I fucking love you. You're a fucking great guy. But I just went blank. I love you, dude.
The Mariano brothers, the homies.
Yeah, shout out to
So, a side note, tomorrow I'm gonna be in the Dino. I'm gonna get my car tuned by another homie who he's a good friend of theirs too.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna take my car. Anyways, back to
my bad.
So yeah, like there was really, to me, really no future for me, right? I didn't want to go anywhere. Like, I wasn't trying to be a truck driver. I wasn't trying to be no supervisor. So I was okay. Well, what's next for me? I dropped out of community college, right? Who does that? But I just didn't really see myself being there, or I don't really like going to school. So I was like, man. So the opportunity came up when the hiring process started for the Department of Corrections, California. So decided to give it a go, and in 2014, I started the academy. It was a long hiring process. It took about like a couple years.
Yeah, talk about that, because me coming from the military and wanting to be an MP, like people think that, oh, you just apply and boom, like a regular job. Like, no, it's a long, tedious process.
It's an
you could be a squared away guy, but at the end of the day, if that whoever was in front of you as a panel, they might just not like you. And you know, speak a little bit on that process.
So now a lot's changed, right? Now a lot's changed. It's people in law enforcement in general. People don't want to pursue that field like they did in the past when I got hired. Reason being because a lot of stuff that's going on in law enforcement and on the streets or in prisons, like people are not enticed to pursue that route. But when I applied, it was, it's an extensive process. So you do like your like a written exam, right? And then you do what else did I do? There's a written exam, then you do like a physical agility test, and then you start the background process, right? And the background process, that's an extensive process because they go through your entire background. Now, all I really had, like, for me was like some fucking tickets. Oh, can we cuss on here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some tickets, and got fired from a job, whatever. And that was pretty much like all the whatever I had on my record. So, you interview with the hiring background investigator, who are supervisors in the department and the sergeants, right? So, you interview with them. They kind of get a feel for you. They start checking out your background, everything, your jobs, everything like that's on paper. So once that's done, you do a psych eval, right? Psych eval is going to be with I think it's with a psychologist or some professional in that field. I'm not sure what title. I don't remember what title, but you're going to interview with them just to make sure you're not like kind of just not there. You know what I mean? So
just to make sure you're not going to end up, where you're going to end up working.
But you'll be surprised, though, man. Like throughout my career, you see a lot of like COs, staff members that get caught doing some dumb shit, and now they're on the other side. So
wow.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it happened a lot. I don't want to say a lot, but it happened more than you would think.
More than once is
more than
like
once.
eye-opening, right?
So yeah, man. Like going into the career, you don't really know. You're excited because you're, damn, I'm gonna be a CO or law enforcement, and like career because you're gonna earn a decent income. You're gonna have benefits. You're gonna have a pension. You're gonna have job security, right? Those are the things that entice people to join a career like that, right? Especially the number one reason being all you need is a high school diploma, right? Because people like myself don't like college and never really took it serious. It's a good entry level job that with huge upside. At the time, that's what I believe. So I finished the whole process, and then once you complete the whole process, all the interviews, all the background, then they're going to give you an offer. That offer is basically what it is. It's giving you a choice of, or not choice, but like, hey, here's a prison that we have available. Take it. And if you do, this is your academy start date. So I think when I got that email, I was excited, bro. Like I was ecstatic. I was like, hell yeah, new career.
How old are you, bro?
I was I started at 23, the process. I got hired on at 24. 24. Man.
I mean,
so I was 10 years
how old are you right now?
34.
Okay, you're 34. I'm 31. If someone at 24 told me, that they just got that email and went like that, I would be like, man, what a start at 24, right?
Yeah, man.
24 is
still young.
still really young in life, and
still young, man.
Someone told me that my buddy's brother or whoever, I would be like, bro, way to go, man. You're starting really good. Did you feel like that, especially coming from, where we're from?
Yeah, for sure, man. I was like, I mean, I was proud of myself, that I made the whole process, and it was exciting. I was like, man, I'm even when I put my 2-week notice in at my old job, they were even like, damn, this guy has off a career, like, and some people follow suit, and they still work for the department as we speak.
Oh wow! So you
they saw me.
People?
Yeah,
Awesome.
And even when I left the department, even motivated at least one other person to do the same. But anyways, so yeah, man, like I said, growing up where we grew up, it was definitely like an accomplishment, right? Because you're like, damn, here you come from a single parent household, this, and really, growing really up with no father figure, and we're all kind of just on our own doing what we gotta do, and then we made it out, or into a career. So my brother was a CEO, he's a CEO, and then me. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm excited. So when they sent me the offer, it was to a prison in Susanville, California. So none of you know that.
India or something like that, right?
No. Susanville is like in the California. You have California, then you have like north, and then like into like Vegas, like the north eastern part of the
like
northeastern
Fresno?
part of California. Yeah, but like more like northeast, like more up there. Like middle of like kind of nowhere. Anyways,
middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's that's pretty much how a lot of these prisons are. But I was like, man, I think it was like 6 hours from Sacramento northeast, so it's like still further up. So I called my brother. I was like, hey man, they give me this offer. Like, what do you think? He goes, I was excited. I was gonna take it, but he goes, nah, bro. Like, see, they can get you closer. Like, that's far, especially you want to come home. Like, you got to figure out, what's the nearest airport? Can you make the drive? All those things you have to really think about, because you're even from up there. You're gonna have to come back home to visit moms, all that good stuff, right? So I did. I mean, I turned it down. So I turned it down. I said, hey, I replied to the email. I said, I can't take this offer, but do you have anything else closer to me?
How was that, dude? To like get this offer, be so excited, be like, hey bro, la 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 la, and then him being like, how'd you go from that to then making the decision to email them back and being like, nah.
My brother, he because he was doing it already, so he had a better understanding of like the process and what to expect. Because
so he felt like if you said no, you would get like some sort of counter. He felt like
so you had so you get if I would have turned it down completely, I would have get another offer the following month. You get like 3 offers.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So
but I was trying to jump on that academy date that they gave me, which was September 8th, 2014. So had I turned it down, I had to wait another month or 2 or however that worked. But I wanted to catch that academy, but going to a different prison. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I responded to the email, and they're like, yeah, we actually have a San Quentin. That's, not that closer, but it's closer, sort of. I said, Quentin, fuck it, let's go, shoot it, let's do this. So yeah, accepted it, and then I went to the academy.
How intimidating was that to finish the academy as a greenhorn, and like going from like, just doing your, warehouse and then an academy, and they expect you to just go into one of the craziest prisons in all of the country. Yeah. How was that?
It was exciting at first, like leading up to my first day, I think. And then so I went through the whole academy, whatever. And then when it came time to actually report to the joint, it was like, we had our schedules, like where we're going to work. And then one of the days was like on East Block, which was their death row, the condemned row is what they used to call it. But that unit, it's called East Block. So San Quentin is an old joint. It's the layout. It's completely different from a modern prison. It's built in 1800s. I forget the year, 18 something. And so it's the oldest prison in California. So the layout's completely different. So when I reported day one, it was training. It was like a whole training week, right? So we get there, training, orientation, whatever, right? It wasn't until not even that. It was like just classroom and maybe take a little tour. So, but anyways, when you got reported to work. I remember my first day, it was at 6 a.m. I was like, fuck, like, what I get myself into? Because it's a new city, new job. I was driving forklifts like 4 months ago. Now you're going to have me work here on, in a state prison. Like, what the hell? Like, that's when it kind of...
Prison.
It's prison. It's state prison. Difference. But, yeah. So, got there, and I remember my first day, my partner, he's an OG. He had like 25 years in. And he was old school, old school mentality with the prison guard mentality. When you do the job for so long, it takes a toll on you, right? Your whole demeanor changes, your whole personality just changes. Because over the years, a lot of the stuff that you see, lots of things to deal with. So like they're not initially not the most welcoming, because you're new. You're like that fish cop, they call it, right? That greenhorn, right? You have to prove yourself before we can let you into our circle. If that makes sense. So, like I was like, hey, what's up, man? Like, my name is Officer So-and-so. He looked at me like I was like, damn, really? Like, you know what I mean? So,
and I'm sure some people show up like you, and in a month or two, they're probably gone. So
yeah, like actually in the academy, when I was in the academy, I was like low key trying to leave. I was like, man, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if this was for me in the academy, and I still followed through with it. Right, one of my buddies talked me into staying, and the funny thing, because he quit like earlier last year. But anyway, so I stayed, whatever. And yeah, man, like it's just like a prison culture it's only working there, you really understand the culture, right? Outside looking in, it's really hard to grasp kind of what goes on inside a prison, what goes on in a housing unit. And so like what are you and your partner just like talking about? Like all that culture, it's only learned working inside a prison. But anyway, so I was like, man, I gotta work 8 hours with this dude. Like, he didn't even want to talk to me. I was like, man, whatever. And then he stepped out. So a couple hours of the shift, and he was barely saying anything. I was like, man,
it sucks.
Yeah. I was like, then the inmate came and talked to me, and I was like, I guess I'll just talk to the inmate. You know what I mean? So then he stepped out, right? He stepped out the unit. So you have two partners in the housing unit. It was a dorm setting. It was a bunch of bunk beds everywhere, right? And it was like probably 130 inmates in there, right? And first couple hours on the job, and this was stepped out to go shoot the shit with his other CO friends, right? And I'm in there like fuck, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, man, what if something just fucking happens? What am I gonna do? So I'm trying to think like, fuck, what am I gonna do if this happens? Like trying to run scenarios through my head. And but I was, it was just not really knowing what to expect, how it really is inside of working inside a unit. But yeah, man, it was very difficult for me adjusting to the new career, the type of job that I got into. It was a very, very hard transition. I remember getting off of work and like I just wanted to sleep. Like, fuck, I just want to go to my apartment and just just sleep. Just like, what the fuck? Because I was second guessing myself, you know. I was like,
were you ever intimidated in there?
It's intimidating because in the beginning, because you really don't know what to. I mean, you go to the academy and you do these little what they call closets, where you go into the prisons and they take a tour, and then they like kind of shadow some officers, but like you're never like by yourself, like trying to run a housing unit until you're actually in the housing unit. So you don't know what to expect. It comes with time.
Yeah.
So I remember when I started, like I try to flex with the badge, like, you know, like I'm
a CO.
Yeah, big mistake. That's when I learned. So I that's kind of how it was, right? And I was just like, my face was like I always look like just like I'm dogging these inmates, right? And inmate came up to me. He goes, "Hey, bro, like it's not that. Like, why's your face like that?" He didn't say, "Hey, bro." He goes, "ACO, like, hey, what's your face?" Is just like. He goes, "Man, you need." He goes, "You got a long career ahead of you, man. It's like just take a deep breath and just chill." I was like, "Well, who the fuck are you telling me to chill, man?" You know what I mean? So it was like, so it was just like.
But it did plant a seed in your head.
Yeah, I mean, when you're new, you kind of really don't know the type of CO you want to be. Do you want to be that CO that fucking flexes on these inmates? Like, oh, I'm the CO because I'm the cop. And just go around like that, you're in for a long career. Not only for that, but you're probably gonna end up with high blood pressure. You're gonna end up with like problems outside of because it's just too much. Like trying to be like that all the time, it's too much. And I saw it with colleagues throughout the years, you know. But San Quentin now, it's not what it used to be. Now it's like a model. Well, at the time it was like a more transitioning into like a model prison for the other institute prisons statewide.
A model prison?
Model prison meaning like the rehabilitation part. So it's like California Department of Corrections and rehabilitation, meaning they were having more educational, vocational programs for inmates, college and vocational, like, you know, woodworking or
electrician, whatever.
Yeah, all that shit, right? Because the prison can't be a maximum security because of the location, the way it's constructed. The only maximum security at the moment there was death row, because you had like they're death row inmates. You know, they're serial killers and people that you could YouTube and see like all the shit they did, like some crazy shit, right? And then you have gang members, like active Mexican Mafia gang members that are there. So that's why that unit has to be maximum security, right? So my first day, and mind you, like I'm already like having second thoughts. I'm like, fuck, man, like what I get myself into. That transition phase, I was having a very hard time dealing with that. I was like, man, I'm just gonna go back to driving forklifts. At least, like, you know, I'm home. Then I got homesick. It was just a lot of emotions like at once. But I carried on, just kept doing it. So
how long did you have all that? How long did you have all that?
I would say maybe for like the first month.
Oh, that's not that long.
Yeah, no, that has some maybe a month, two, and then I had the roommates, and they kind of helped because you know, I don't want to say they were in the same situation because they lived nearby, they're from the area. But then you start going out with them, you start going to like going out to like, you know, do, you know, a bar, go have some dinner, drinks, whatever. Go to the city. The city is San Francisco. So up there, they don't call it San Fran, they don't call it Frisco. They call it the city. Hence why Golden State Warriors have the city on there. I learned that when I was up there.
Yeah. I go up there a lot.
The city.
Call it to the city.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to the city.
Yeah, the city. So, see, I was doing that, whatever. It was cool. And then, working death row. First day there, bro, I was like, what the hell is this? You know, like, I was like, what? And then you start talking to these death row inmates.
Yeah.
And mind you, bro, like you have your equipment. You have a set of keys, right? Like those big long keys, and it's like a bunch of them. You got a bunch of them. You got keys. They open. You don't know what doors. And then I remember I was gonna feed. So on the tier, you get the trays. They'll bring the trays up, food, or to pass out breakfast to the inmates. And I'm like trying to figure out what key opens up the little food port thing to. And I'm here trying to like figure what.
How many keys were there?
It was a lot. It was at least like 10 different kind of keys, right?
And you're kind of new, and you don't want to sound dumb to the inmates. Like, what key?
Yeah, because you're on the tier by yourself, you know. And so you had so for those you don't, Google San Quentin's death row tiers, and you can see what I mean, right? So you had your first cell was office, and they converted it to an office, right? And then you had the next cell over was the inmate, and then it just like 54 cells.
Yeah.
All the way down here. So I remember trying to pop the first door open, and the inmate, I remember he was like, I think he said he was the oldest death row inmate in California history. Yeah, that's what he was. I think like 40 years on death row, bro. But anyways, he goes, "Oh, hey, it's that key right there." I was like, "This was telling you what?" He goes, "Yeah, bro, is that one? No, that one right there." Then I'm like, "Oh shit!" He goes, "I've been here for a long time. I've been here longer than you've been alive. I know all those keys, what doors they open. So if you have any questions, you ask me." I was like, "What?" Hey, but he was for real. So I had later on that shift, I asked my partner, and I was like, one of my partners, I was like, "Hey, bro, like this was telling me like what?" Like he goes, "Bro, like it sounds weird, but like, yeah, like just." I want to say listen to them, but don't listen to them. But like listen to them, you know what I mean? I go, oh, okay,
yeah.
Makes sense. So yeah, man. I think you know, like really, it's just a different. It's like a whole different ballgame in there, you know, because you're dealing with like you have a serial killer on one cell, and then a couple cells down, you have like a gang Mexican mafia member.
Timo,
and it's like,
and what's you know, you see these shows on TV, and you know, I like to watch Lockup and all that, and you know, sometimes those just show like these crazy looking people or whatever the case, right? My question is like, is it really what people think, which is like people yelling and all this stuff, or is it more like that guy where it's like, "Hey, bro, it's that key"? Like, is it more on that end?
it's a little bit of it's both. It just depends where you work, what time of the day it is. Usually towards like the afternoon, like 2-3 o'clock, everyone's awake, everyone's up. They had just because you know prison, everything's on the time, right? So usually when they come back from yard in the afternoon, when the next shift comes in, which is from 2 to 10, usually everyone's up, everyone's awake, everyone's loud, you know, cooking, making stir fry on the cell, on the toilet. True story, by the way. You know, like on the bed, on the metal, like that, you know. So everyone's doing something. TVs are on. So yeah, that yes, it just depends what unit, what prison, what unit, and it depends on what time of day. But yes,
what I meant more is like the ruckus towards the guards is what I meant. Like, is there real ruckus towards you guys in the sense of like, "Hey, fuck you," or is it more like, "Hey, bro, come here, you watch this TV show"? Like, is it like that?
It's more like that. It's more like the latter, the second part. However, in some cases, it can get to where the first part you mentioned, depending of perfect example during COVID. But I'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, bro. So it was you know, like for me, it was learning the type of inmates that were in that unit, who was housed there, and a simple Google search, you will know what this person is here for. Like, wow. Go on YouTube, type their name, and you're like, oh shit, they got documentaries on this dude. Like, damn. And the craziest part that I was like, I still to this day do not understand. women are fascinated. Some women are fascinated by death row inmates, no matter what age, no matter what they did. There's something about a death penalty inmate, prisoner that fascinates some women. And I understood, and I learned this because I worked death row visiting. So I was the one that was checking in the visitors, and then, and then you have women, like beautiful women come in and, oh yeah, this is my boyfriend. As soon as they walk in to see him, they start kissing them. I'm like, what? Like, I never understood that. But I remember I did see a lot of women from Europe too. So they'll come.
Wow.
And because I would receive a lot of passports. True story. This 35-year-old German woman, beautiful, came in, and she came in like in a wedding gown with a I think it was like a priest or something, deacon or something. And I go, what's up with I'm getting married today. I said, what? I'm married to, and the dude that she was gonna see was like some 75-year-old old, like can't even hear or has hearing problems. And I was like, Mary, what? And I was like, so I was like, can I ask you like why are you just curious? Like, you don't have to answer, like, I'm just curious. Well, like, we all want a green card.
Oh, wow.
So that was a way to, get some kind of marriage. And then
that's
all these
actually
guys
kind of smart, man.
Yeah, because all you gotta do is just maybe kiss them, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm like thinking, like, bro, that's a cool loophole, because come, and then once you get the green card or whatever, don't show up. They're on death row.
Exactly. So not to talk too much about him, but like Scott Peterson, if you Google him, you kind of see what he did. This would have he had a lot of different women that came in.
Really?
Yeah, they're fascinated by him. But anyway,
that's actually pretty crazy.
So this is okay. So see this right here? So this was made for me by a death row inmate. This painting right here.
Oh wow.
So I was working one day and I seen his painting. He was painting in the cell. You see him all the time. I was like, dang, you paint a lot. And he goes, yeah. Like he goes, Google me. Go in your office and just Google me. And now we didn't, we weren't allowed to have our phones, but everyone, at least I did. Yeah, I'll take that back. I have my phone. I don't want to get nobody else in trouble. But anyways, so he's like, yeah, man, like, so after a couple months of kind of like, talking to him, whatever, just like normal people, like, the thing of this, like when you're CEO, you just talk to them like normal people, like, because they're people. You just, hey, like talk about sports, whatever, right? They know what they got to do. They know the program. They know everything's on the time. They know what's right and what's wrong, right? You're there to kind of like make sure that they don't hurt themselves or hurt anybody else. That's essentially what they're, and they don't escape.
And that they get to point A to point B or whatever.
Right. They get fed and they don't escape and they don't harm themselves or harm others. That's it.
Until it's time to go to bed.
Correct. And then do the same shit all over again tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he offered to do this painting for me. And I was like, yeah, man, I think that'll be pretty cool. So yeah, so he did it for me. And then on the back of it, he signed it and letter of authenticity. So I Googled him and I was like, man, this dude, he has paintings in galleries in England. He has some he has a couple. He has actually a whole series in a gallery in the South. I think it's like South Carolina somewhere. It's a contemporary art gallery. No, this is somebody else. Oh,
what's his name?
William Noguera.
Mexican?
Colombian. But he made gang of money, just paintings, gang of money. Wow. So this one he did it for me for free, but it was all legit. I had a form I had to sign. The warden signed it. He signed. I signed it. Then I picked it up. So it was pretty cool. So that's a little souvenir that I got. You know what I mean? But
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's a cool
yeah,
conversation piece.
yeah. Because so like really quick, so like you see like the lines going up and down. So at San Quentin, it's the bars, the cell doors are like like old school bars with like the mesh. So his cell was on the 4th tier, and adjacent from his cell was a small window. That small window looking to the bay with the bridge and all that. So the way he described it was like, if you're at abstract painting, colors, line shapes, portray what the artist is feeling at the moment, right? So, so basically, you see the lines. So as you're looking, it's like him looking out from the cell door, and then he says the red, and the red is the rage, because he's raged because he's been locked up against his not against his will, but he's just the rage of being locked up in prison for the last. I think he's been since he was 18. He was like 40 at the time. Yeah, like 40 something years old at the time. The black was for the fear for his life, that someone was going to kill him, like another inmate was going to kill him. So that's how he lived in constant fear. And then you have the gold. So amongst all that, painting in prison has brought him a lot of wealth, right? And then you have like the little blue squigglies and green and yellow, these little right there. You have the little green one right there. So that's the water, the sunlight, the scenery that he saw from his cell. So that's how he depicted that painting.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool, bro. That's why I have it up here in my office. It's like a unique. It's a unique piece. Yeah. So, when I was working there, after a while, after a year, 2, I started getting like homesick. I was like, you know what? I think it's time for me to transfer to prison, closer to the Dino, right? Because that's where I'm from. That's where my mom lived. And even though San Quentin has a reputation, like I said, it's not what it used to be, right? Death row, I don't want to say it's not what it used to be. It's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
Especially today. It's a controlled setting. It's a controlled, unit. Does stuff happen there still? Yeah, it happens. Even when I was there, it happened. But it's not what it used to be. Like the violence and all that, it's not there no more. I don't want to say it's not there no more. It's just not at one time in history.
Or how I would say TV makes it seem sometimes.
Right, because it does have a dark history, right? Like it was a notorious prison, like with a dungeon and all that shit. Like it was that. But now, it's on a beautiful piece of real estate overlooking the bay. It's beautiful, so it's not that no more. It's more of a historical landmark that happens to be a prison still.
And like you said, it's more of a rehab place now.
So actually what they're doing now is so in the last year, California has adopted the Norway model of prison, which is more rehabilitative. It doesn't depict the inmate as an inmate, more as a resident. It tries to create more of a, I won't say welcoming, but like more of a rehabilitative place than prison. So the term prison is really not used in that type of model. It's more of a rehabilitative place where you're already doing the time. So while you're there, let's make you the most beneficial and best for you to contribute to society when you go back out. So that's what it's becoming. That's what the whole department is becoming. So in the last month, I think it's like in the last month or last couple of weeks, they've been shipping out death row inmates out of San Quentin into some of these different prisons, into with the rest of the population, just to kind of like be there.
Easier ones or similar ones, or
I wouldn't say it's just never really happened. Like that's a death row inmate with a death penalty. Who was supposed to have the death penalty, right? But they took that away. They haven't executed anybody since 2007 or something like that, approximately around that.
Hey, Tio, and when I don't know about it, you probably know the answer, but like when they execute them, like who's like, oh, I'm the guy, or do people volunteer? How does that work?
No, they have what's called like the execution team. I think it's called like train. They train them in something. I don't know, but there's like a team that was assigned. They all have a duty, a task when it came to the execution process. But there's like a whole process. Like, the last one was, I don't want to say it was Tookie Williams. It was somebody else after that. But like Tookie, he was one that got executed at San Quentin, 2006 or something like that.
Wow.
But there's like an execution team. But they, like I said, in the last recent years, when I was there, they weren't executing nobody. And then in the last year or so, they are really like trying to just like move away from any kind of death row, condemn row, death penalty, like completely. So I think in the next year or so, there won't be no death row. There'll be all these inmates will be housed somewhere else. So,
wow, that's so. It is that California kind of leading that way.
Yeah, it's called they call it the California model. So it's a lot of changes.
Let me fix my blinds right quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
That sun's coming in, boy. All right, that's better. There it is. Yeah, because I think a lot of people will like that, but I mean, you only know if you're in there really what's going on. You know, you're a few.
Right.
I mean, how many correctional officers are there in the world? Less than 1%, I would assume.
Yeah.
So you guys are really the only ones who would say that is a good way to go, or we should just stay this way. You know, there's no.
Right.
You know,
It's moving in a direction that does not benefit the officer whatsoever, because it's becoming more focused on inmate rehabilitation. However, some of the policy changes that are going on, it's just dangerous. It's becoming very dangerous. I don't want to get too much into the detail because, man, we could spend a whole hours talking about this. But it's just becoming more dangerous for the officer and for inmates, because
as if it already wasn't.
Right, because you have general population, you have SNY, right? So over the last couple of years, they've been kind of slowly trying to integrate both of these together, and it's just a recipe for disaster, because obviously, prison 101, you don't mix the general population with SNY, meaning like a child molester with a regular gang member who's there for like gang shit. You know what I mean? Like you don't prison 101, you don't mix the two. So California slowly trying to integrate the two together. Right. So it's a lot more violent in that aspect. And even with the violence, it's still trying to, because that's what they want to do. So
I don't know. I wonder where that who was at that meeting and was like, I got an idea.
Probably somebody that never worked inside a prison. Because we all know. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science to know what's going to happen or what's been happening. You know what I mean? But it's just not a place where what it used to be. It's not. I think in the next 5 years, they're closing prisons down. They're making it more inmate rehabilitative, centric, meaning there's more programs for the inmate. Everything's about inmate rehabilitation at the cost of staff safety and staff, our authority. How much authority do we have when it comes to this dude's acting up? What can we do to Before I used to just, like, hey, what's cracking? Take my belt off, let's go. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, it's becoming really, really soft. So, now they're incorporating cameras, like body-worn cameras. So before, you walk into the cell or you're in the cells, Amy's cussing you out. The camera's on now, Before he's just like, what? Man, fuck you too. Right? Or open the cell door real quick. Like, what? Now you can't do stuff like that anymore, because cameras on you. So, like I said, it's moving more towards benefiting inmates, which I get. And they're slowly stripping our authority away. Like any kind of authority that we have inside the joint, they're slowly stripping that away. And they're not making it to where, for example, you caught an inmate with a phone, it's contraband, right? Before it used to be like you go into the hole, to the ATE, to the solitary confinement, what they call it.
Yeah.
On TV shows. Now it's like, here, don't do it again. By that, a couple hours later, you have another one. You know what I mean? So, it's just a drastic shift. A drastic shift that it's not benefiting staff. And staff see the writing on the wall. I saw the writing on the wall, which is why I started making moves, a couple of years ago to eventually leave. However, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's easier said than done, right? Because it's, the career provides, it pays you over $100K a year. It gives you benefits. You have peace officer status, so you can carry a gun anywhere you go. You can buy whatever you want. You have a lot of perks that come with that career. So it's and for someone who just has a high school diploma, it's very difficult for you to leave, right? Because where else are you going to go get a job like this? As far as like the salary and stuff like that.
Yeah. How much years did you give corrections?
I did a little under 10, so right around 10 years.
It's a long time to be like go from there and then change. When did you see, like you said, at what point did you see the writing on the wall and like you said started to make moves into what you're doing now?
For me, it was during COVID, but that's when I really was like, "Fuck this."
Was it financial or like,
no? It was more like,
was it, I want to move on from this eventually.
Yeah, I want to move on from this. Like, so when I left San Quentin, right, transferred and I went to Calipatria State Prison. That's when I got my first dose of like real prison shit, like some real shit, like real politics, real like real murders happening on the yard, like dudes getting stabbed, like the shit you see in the movies, like some like real shit. But it was easier just to kind of be myself, right? Because we grew up in the hood, right? We saw shit that a lot of people maybe never see in their life, right? So when I got to Calipat and I kind of, when I was at San Quentin, I moved away from like the whole, I'm the CEO and because I said so, and to just be myself, right? Just like this, just be myself, which made it easier to communicate with, my partners and with inmates specifically, because it was, you just talk. But yeah, when I got to Calipatria, it was a culture shock for me. I was like, damn, like this is some real like prison yard, like working out, and then like blacks on this side, Mexicans on this side, like politics. But that's where I also learned the most as far as like how to conduct myself as a correction officer, right? Like how can I make my job more easier?
Yeah.
For me, like mentally. But I think for me, the first time I actually started having like these inclinations towards like eventually at some point leaving was Calipatria is in a remote location, like very remote. Salton Sea out that way. And it gets hot. Like the summers are super hot, right? So there was a stabbing on the yard, and we responded full gear.
Stabbing?
Yeah, yeah. You know, when you owe money, you gotta pay your bills in prison. if not the homies are gonna get you, and that's how it is. You know, but you know they do their thing, and we just respond to that. You know, to what we gotta do. So, it was like 120 degrees, and we're out there. I was out there with the gear and I don't say the
full combat mode.
Yeah, full, just ready to go, you know. And we're standing out there. We're trying to figure out, you know, because when it's something like that, it's a crime scene, so you have to like take pictures. So I'm out there just standing there, like, you know, people taking pictures and trying to identify who's in the area, trying to find the weapon, all that stuff, right? So meanwhile, one of the SEALs doing CPR, and this was gushing out blood, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know, like, it's some crazy shit, man. So towards the end of the night, I was depleted from electrolytes. I was drinking water. I wasn't hydrating. I was drinking water. You got to hydrate. I wasn't doing that. And long story short, I ended up in the ER right there in Loma Linda. I was suffering from heat exhaustion. I was damn near had a heat stroke, but I made it in time.
Wow.
So at that point, that's when I was like, the doctor was like, hey, just so you know, like from this point on, from 2018 on, 2017, it was like summer 2017. From this point on, you're gonna be more susceptible to heat, to suffer from a heat exhaustion, because now your body's went through these extremes, so now it's gonna react in the same way if you take it to that, even near that extreme again. So so you have to be really careful, and it's been the case ever since. So
wow.
I finally made it up Calipatria, and I got to Chino State Prison, and obviously I'm home now. You know, I have my wife, and then I have my little one, you know, about a year and a half ago. And during COVID for me was probably like the hardest, right? Reason being because it was a shock to the whole world, right? I mean, hindsight is always 2020. So looking back, you know, did we overreact? As you know, maybe, but at the time we didn't know like what was really going on, right?
The first month, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So everything's locked down. You know, back to your question as far as like, is it like yelling and shit against the COs? And it's not most of the time, but during this time it was, because I worked in the hole in ATSE, and the unit's a lockup unit, right? People are there because they fucked up in one way or another. Inmates, they got caught with drugs, they got in a fight, they're snitches. They're there for a reason, right? So to protect themselves or to for disciplinary reasons. So I remember they would be there for a certain amount of time, then they would leave either to another prison or to the yard. So it was a full house. It was like almost 200 inmates just locked up. The world's on lockdown, so there's no movement. And even the hot meals that they were getting, they stopped getting it because nobody's cooking them, because like everything's locked down and then staff were getting sick. So short staff on top of that. So that's when it started getting like rowdy, started, flooding the toilets so the water come out, start flooding.
Cabin fever.
Yeah. So yelling, banging, fuck you, right? And to me, it was difficult to deal with that, and like all day, like
10 hours,
16 hours,
16-hour days,
sometimes 20. We were short staffed to the point where like you were working.
Was it voluntary or voluntold?
It was voluntold during that time. You had no choice. So at that point was when it was very. like that's when I really started having
no joke.
Like mentally, it was fucking me up. Like, I can't do this shit. And then my wife was in Florida because her dad had surgery. He had a transplant. So she was in Florida with him. So I was just like, it was just me. So I'm like, man, I was just like kind of going through it, and I was like, fuck, I can't do this shit. So that's when I was like, okay, I need to figure something out. I need to plan my escape. I need to plan my escape from here, right? Because now you got a mortgage, now you got bills, now you got shit you got to pay. The job provides. You got medical insurance, you have a retirement. How can I replace that? I had no clue. So one day I worked with a colleague in the unit, and we were talking. And he quit also. He quit three months before I quit. So
yeah.
He quit. He quit. He resigned. He's doing his own thing now. And he was telling me about Amazon. And I was like, okay, so you sell stuff. Can you buy it? Like, where do you buy this shit at? Oh, okay, you have a team of virtual assistants that help you find products. You train them what to look for. And this how you do it. And I was like, yeah, that's interesting. It's a lot of work, but it's interesting. So I said, fuck it, let's try it. So I tried it. I opened up my little Amazon account, and no clue what the fuck I was doing. But I'm gonna try it. This is my ticket out. Has to be. I can't do this shit no more, right? No matter how long it takes me, this is my ticket out. I did say that to myself. And yeah, bro, that started the journey, man, onto what I do now, Now I do this full time. And
how long have you been doing it now?
So I started in late 2021. So I heard he told me about like in March, and I was still kind of like, and I started kind of like looking into more, watching YouTube videos. I started like in the late 2021. That's when I really started. So that's why I started buying stuff. Like, there's software that we look at that you have to learn, right? And that software tells you everything you need to know about a product, as far as how many times does it sell a month, competition, how much are Amazon fees,
a lot of
all
data.
That stuff, right? A lot of data, all the data, like 99% of the data that we need, it's there. So our buying decisions are based on that data. So I started going to like yard sales, and I was doing eBay at the same time. I was going to yard sales, thrift stores, just finding different shit, right? And I didn't really know what I was looking for, but I was just kind of scanning stuff. So I started doing books, like used books, like college books. So I would like go like on, go to yard sales. Sometimes they have books for like $1. So I just, start scanning. Okay, damn, this one sells for $50 on Amazon. Shoot it. Or like Pokemon cards, or like whatever I came across that I found that I scanned and looked at the data. And with eBay too, right? So I was like, okay, cool. This is cool. Go to thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, find these textbooks, used textbooks that I can buy for low and sell it for a profit on Amazon. So that's how I started. So that was a good way to learn what you need to learn, which is the data, which is called Keepa. That's the name of the software. And now I'm like, okay, cool. Now let's get into start selling some other shit. So then I started getting into I started going to like Target. I started scanning shit at Target, and then I came across this Disney Encanto like Playhouse toy. And I was like, oh damn, they have it for this much. I could sell it for this much. At the time, Encanto was like, I think it had just came out or something like that. I think. And it was like hype. That toy was like hyped up. So I saw how much I could make. I think it was like $20 per after all the fees and all that. I was gonna make $20 per toy. And it was selling a lot. It was selling
like hotcakes.
Like hotcakes. Like if I listed it, it would sell like quick, like within a couple minutes. So yeah, bro. So I started looking at every Target in Southern California. Yeah, Southern California. And I started looking at the inventory online on the Target website. And then at the same time, there was a Lego Titanic. That Lego Titanic is like big ass Titanic, right? Lego set. And that's when I first got into Legos. So I drew out a map stopping at every Target that had that Disney toy and every Lego store that had the Titanic. So I drew a map all the way to like Santa Barbara, like deep.
Oh, wow.
So I started in Rancho where I live now, or where I live, and then I drove to like, all the way to the west, to the coast, and then I drove down and then into like Orange County. I wasn't able to send it. It took me like 8 hours to like stop at every store. Well, I already knew what I wanted, right? I already knew what I was gonna get. So I was in and out, boom, quick. And yeah, man, got home. I got the shipment ready, sent it into Amazon. So with Amazon FBA, there's two methods, right? It's Amazon FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, and there's fulfilled by merchant, right? It's two methods to fulfill customer's product, Amazon customer product. Amazon fulfilled by Amazon is where you take the inventory, and Amazon, they have locations for you to send fulfillment centers for you to send the shipments to. So all you do is print the label, box it up, and on its way. Amazon takes care of breaking the shipment down, putting up an inventory, and when it sells, they'll pick it, put it in the Amazon truck, and then off to the customer. So you don't really do any of the shipping, right? Amazon. And then you have fulfilled by merchant, where let's say I have this mouse and it's selling at hotcake. Well, instead of sending it to Amazon fulfillment center, well, it's going to take some time to get there, get checked in, processed, and then before it becomes available, I can ship this directly to the customer quick.
Yeah.
So there's that option. So
which one are you?
I do fulfilled by Amazon just because the only time I'll do fulfilled by merchant is where I ship is during the holiday season. Which this time around I don't know if I'm gonna do, just because I actually want to. It's a lot of work. Like the amount of volume during the holiday, like Christmas time,
it's crazy.
It's oh my goodness, it's insane. Like, but you can make like, I think last December I did a combination of both. I did a little under 20 grand in profit just December, like just that.
Yeah.
So that, that's because I moved products myself though, like Lego sets that I found, box them up, ship them, boom, out the door.
A little bit more work, but more
profit. Right. For that time of year. So I do 99% fulfilled by Amazon. I have the model that I explained earlier is known as retail arbitrage, right? You go into stores, Ross, Target, Walmart. You go into these retail stores. You find opportunities to buy low and then sell high sell them for higher on Amazon with a profit. So retail arbitrage, you go into retail stores. Online arbitrage, you go onto the websites. Any website that you can find items to sell, right? But with that is you have to pay sales tax, right? When you make a purchase, I'm in California. If I get it shipped to me, I pay a 7.75 sales tax. And then I still got to prep it. I got to ship it. It's a lot of work. Or you can get it shipped to a sales tax-free state. And the warehouse, they're usually called prep centers, will receive the inventory. They'll prep it for you, and they'll send it to Amazon fulfillment centers. So you don't even see the shit. You just purchase, and then you kind of track the numbers, right? Okay, I bought this many, they received this many, they shipped out this many. So that's all you really do, right? Keep track of units shipped.
That's crazy.
Because the perk is you don't pay sales tax. So my prep center's in Montana, right? Montana's sales tax free. So it's what you were going to pay in sales tax, you pay in a small fee to get your time back. meaning like you don't have to sit there and label
Yeah.
shit, break shit down, and then get the UPS truck to come and pick up your shipments and all that, right? It's tedious. It's a lot of work. You know, we need to focus our time on finding profitable inventory wherever we can. So that model is called online arbitrage. But with these two models, there's so many ways you can squeeze out additional profit. So I do mostly online arbitrage. Now I'm incorporating wholesale. So wholesale, basically what it is you're doing the same thing, but you're buying it from suppliers, wholesale suppliers in large quantities. So instead of going on a website and buying, let's say 20 units, 30 units at a time, you're calling up a supplier who, let's say, for example, as soon as we get off of this call, I'm gonna do a purchase order for a supplier that's in Los Angeles. So they do general merchandise, right? They supply merchandise, you know, like Gillette razors, Colgate toothpaste, all that general stuff to stores, right? Mom and pop shops, whatever. So I got an account with them as an online retailer. So now I have a catalog of all the stuff they sell.
Mm.
So they have about 9,000 different items they sell. That's a lot. So I have to go through each item. Well, my team goes through each item and they look for opportunities that we can sell on Amazon. So they're trained to look for, they're trained to read data, just like me. I trained them. And they go, so they're in the Philippines, right? So they're 15 hours ahead.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cheaper than if I was to hire a virtual assistant here.
Hey.
So I was saying, you know, so in Amazon, as an Amazon seller, all you do is find opportunities, right? Wherever you can find opportunity at, whether it's in the store. Let's say you get a good relationship with the store manager, they let you in on their inventory. Like, people make a lot of money from going to stores. Like, they have a system in place where they make like a legit full-time living, just going to stores and buying shit from stores. Like, it's a lot of work, but it's very profitable. It's finding stuff online or finding stuff with suppliers.
That's how you started?
I started going to stores. Yeah, I started going to stores. That's how I started. I was doing that for a while to get familiar with creating a shipment, sending it to Amazon, understanding like, okay, how well did this sell? So I never took a profit since the beginning. I kept, reinvesting all the profit because I had a job, so kept reinvesting it until.
Who was teaching you how to learn all this, or it was just on hands-on?
YouTube and like. You get into like these Discord sometimes, but on your own, really. Like, I learned this on my own.
Yeah, because you could learn off YouTube, but and Discords, because I everyone does that where they go and they try to learn, but if you're not, putting that to here, it's like,
Yeah, bro. Like it's, you have to, what they call practical application. You have to apply, and consistently, you're gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's what I think, discouraged a lot of people in the beginning because of, oh man, like, I'm spending this money and like I didn't really, you make mistakes, but you learn something with every mistake, right? Hopefully. So now you know what to do.
It discouraged a lot of people and a lot of things, like,
right.
You could like to do some, or you feel like it's making you money or whatever, but if you're not, building and building and building, it's just not. You're not ever gonna feel like you see the end or see the
right. It's just like constantly grinding. So when I went from books, spending a couple hundred there, a couple hundred there, a couple hundred there, a couple $100 here for like just to buy books to sell, to like legit spending like 15, 20 grand to 50 to 60 to 100K to purchase inventory. All that took a lot of trial and error with mistakes and to get to this point where I'm at now. So now I can easily drop 10, 20, 50 racks on toothpaste that I'm going to sell because I know how much I'm going to make. I know the whole process.
Yeah.
So that's why now I'm confident and comfortable because I understand, okay, if I want to make, this much this month, I have to spend this much in inventory to get that much money back, or what I expect that I'm going to get in profit.
People buy toothpaste on Amazon?
You buy anything on Amazon. You're not Amazon Prime member?
Yeah, but I don't go, I need toothpaste. Like, I just go. Because I feel like Amazon is like, I mean, for toothpaste, I do buy shit on Amazon, but for toothpaste, I'm more like, I need it. Let me go get it. Boom. I don't feel like, I feel like you have to wait. I mean, I know Amazon Prime the next day, but I just feel like with toothpaste, I'm just saying specific stuff like that.
So when I started, the first thing that I learned after a while was any kind of preconceived like ideas I had about what I thought. Like, same thing, like, who the hell's gonna buy toothpaste on? We look at data. If the data says this shit sells, okay, let me, you know what I mean? So like, people out there like convenience. Like, for example, I was sick the last like couple of days, right? And I didn't feel like driving to go get some soup or like Vietnamese pho or like ramen.
Yeah.
Because I was sick. So what I do, I got Instacart. Convenience. Like, you gotta pay a tip, you gotta wait, but people like convenience, or like they can't, or they're like, you know what, I'm running low, let me just order it.
Yeah.
I'll think about tomorrow. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, like Amazon is a beast in the e-commerce space. They have like 310 million Prime members, and just like the amount of just shit that you can buy on Amazon is just like crazy. You could buy like, look at all the categories they have, right? They have auto, garden, and like outdoors, camp, like just different baby. There's just so much shit you can buy. It's crazy. So
how long do you think it took you to learn all that to where you feel, I mean, I imagine you feel a lot better now?
Yeah, I'm confident now. Like, I started late 2021, or with 2024. I mean, how long is it? I'm bad at math. Is that
3 years? 3
years.
That's not that long.
It's like 2 and some change. Yeah. But after like a good year of doing it, you get comfortable, you get confident. You start dropping like confident doing big purchases for inventory, right?
You feel like it's gonna sell, and then
because you already did the homework, right?
And then it sells, and you're like, oh damn,
like, oh shit. For example, like the order that I'm gonna do with the supplier today, like I have the data that it's gonna sell. The real data comes when you really send it in to Amazon, and then you see, okay, how well does this sell? You know what I mean? So I did the homework already. I looked at the data, and everything points at it should sell. So once I send it in, and it gets to Amazon, and within like the next couple of weeks or next month or so, I'll understand, okay, I sent in 10 different items, 10 different SKUs, different items. Anything from like foot powder to like Gillette razors to toothpaste to, everything. I will know what performed better as far as like velocity and profit margin. So I'll call them back and I'll say, hey, so those Gillette razors and
I want those.
let me get a pallet. So that's where like you start getting, you know what I mean? Because you already did the work. You already tested it out and know.
And there's obviously things that you got that sat, and you're just like,
yeah, you're just like, right. So that's where the important, like for an Amazon space, is like test buying, right? So there's this brand so I've been buying like 20 grand a month on this website. And this website, for those of you who don't know, we have Rakuten cashback. There's extensions that you can get cashback. So when you're out there shopping online, just know that check a Rakuten or check Topps cashback, because sometimes those two websites have cashback incentives. So brands pay these websites to market, advertise their website. Say, hey, come shop at Nike. You'll get 10% back cashback on your purchases. So there's a website that has 10% cashback at the moment as we speak for like the last 6 months. So I've been buying very, very heavy on the inventory because not only is it very, very profitable, but that cashback, it's like I had like $4,000 cashback and I just cashed out.
Oh, okay.
Little perks that I'm going to use to go to Disneyland, just fun shit. But
so right now on Amazon, you went from, buying like stuff off Target or whatever, and then selling. Now you're really just selling like toothpaste stuff like that, everyday stuff, or is it a broad range?
It's everyday household items,
Oh, okay.
It's like, for example, like summer's coming up. So summertime, you have seasonal summer items that are going to sell real well, like any kind of pool supplies, like barbecue, outdoor stuff, camping stuff. Like there's just a wide range
all
of
this stuff.
Not here. Like I said, you buy it and it gets shipped to.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So okay, so
because sometimes on your Instagram, like you'll show your garage, there'll be some stuff in there.
When the returns, or like Lego sets so I think with Legos, like certain sets, when they retire, the value goes up substantially, like over time, depending on what set. Not every set, but like certain sets.
Oh, so okay. I see what you mean.
So sets there's like a set that retired in December that I dropped like almost $10,000, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I have it posted in my garage with surveillance and night detection, all that shit. But I'm holding it for peak season, which is Christmas time.
Okay.
So that Lego say you can't get no more, and there's demand for it. So come December,
right now your most stuff you have bouncing around is general stuff.
Yeah, general stuff like probiotic pills, protein powder.
You deviate depending on the
opportunities, right? So one perfect example, right? So back to school season is like low key like a Christmas time. Yeah, on Amazon, it's crazy. Just based off like the previous like July, August, late July, early August, that window, the opportunity to sell backpacks is crazy.
JanSport, shout out JanSport.
JanSport, Adidas, Nike, backpacks like that, right? So where do you find these backpacks? Well, as soon as I find an opportunity, okay, this backpack sells really well, I can sell it. Now let's find it. Kohl's. Last year, Kohl's, man, I bought like so many backpacks from them. It was crazy. And they were selling so fast because, people needed a back to school backpack.
Yeah, so you even making profit on stuff that are wholesale? Like, I mean, that you're buying like, what do you call it? Not wholesale, from Kohl's. Like, you're even making profit on that?
You can go to Kohl's right now. And if you know what you're doing, you spend a few hours at Kohl's, you walk out with carts full of shit. And the cool thing about Kohl's is I don't really do it, but you got Kohl's cashback. The Kohl's cash, I'm sorry.
No, that's what's up.
You can rake up Kohl's cash. So there was at one point I had like $800 in Kohl's cash. I just go walk some shoes for me, some clothes for me, like whatever, But yeah, bro, it just depends like where you're at in your Amazon business and where do you want to go, right? Obviously, if you want to grow your business exponentially, you want to start getting into like a couple million. So I've sold probably like within the whole time that I've been selling on Amazon, like total, I've done about 2.5 million in sales.
3 years?
And almost 3 years that I've been doing it. In sales, not profit sales.
Yeah.
So if let's say I want to go from doing, $1 million a year in sales, to doing, let's say, even 5-10 million. Well, now you have to have a whole system in place, meaning like this store chain ain't gonna cut it really anymore. You need to have relationship with big distributors or suppliers, like the one I'm working on right now, to where eventually I can start saying, hey, let's put this order in for 200,000, 300,000. Now you're like pushing some heavy weight, but now you need to figure out the logistics part, right? You're gonna get a full truckload of inventory. Well, where's that full truckload gonna go? Is it gonna go to your garage? That's a lot of shit. Or is it gonna go to a warehouse? Was it your warehouse, or are you gonna hire a warehouse, which they're called third-party logistics? Where they
I've heard about that.
They receive the inventory for you, they break it down, they palletize it, then they ship it to Amazon.
And they let you know what you have and everything. They take care of it. Yeah.
Right. So are you gonna do that?
Guys, everything.
You're gonna do that, or you're gonna have your own warehouse. Okay, you have your own warehouse. Okay, now you need employees. Now you need forklift. Now you need a dock. So all these things are questions for the Amazon seller that wants to grow their business exponentially, right? I'm at a point right now where I know what I'm doing and I'm comfortable. It's cool. I'm cruising. And then I started this Amazon influencer program. That's a whole other way to make some nice ass money doing some easy shit. So I'm like, okay, do I really want to keep growing, or do I want to kind of just coast it here where I'm at, doing about like 10 grand a month in profit, little 11-ish on there, depends. Do I want to grow to 20 to 30, or do I want to like coast it where I'm at and then do like this Amazon influencer stuff that I'm doing?
Is that a question that you're asking yourself right now?
Yes, because if things start going good with the supplier, then and I see opportunity to like purchase heavy, then the next question will be, okay, warehouse. Do I want to get my own, or do I want to hire a warehouse to do it for me? So I'm leaning warehouse to do it for me, but it just all depends.
It sounds like you're still. It kind of sounds like when you said that you showed up in Quentin and you were like, all right, I'm not going to do the face anymore. How about I just start being myself? It sounds like that's what kind of phase you're in right now.
Yeah, because I mean, okay, so Amazon is very difficult to work with sometimes. Meaning it's their platform, it's their, what they call
their rules, their big brother.
Right, and really quick. So last year there was a stolen goods bust. CHP, Google it. You can Google it. CHP stolen goods, San Diego. So I think it was like last summer. So what happened was really quick. Just to touch on it real quick. There was a bust of, I think like 40. They got 40 people on this organized thing that they were doing. Right, they were stealing trailers from docks, and it was all like Ninja and Shark appliances, TVs also. It was just a lot of shit. There was like from like Walmart, Target, like that's Best Buy, all that shit. They were stealing it, and they would go to this. They would have it all stored in one location. So what they did was they opened up a Telegram app. So the Telegram app, you had to pay a fee to get in it, and it started enticing Amazon sellers. Okay, well, what do they got? Well, these dudes were stealing shit, right? But they were selling it for cheap. Ninja appliances. I mean, Ninja and Shark appliances.
Like unbeatable prices.
Like stupid. Like unbeatable. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, I'll take a pallet to that. They had a lot. And when the bust happened, Amazon was like, oh, so Amazon sellers have been buying this stolen shit and they've been selling it on Amazon. Because mind you, Amazon's making a gang of money off the fees. But this stuff is stolen. So that does not look good, right? So they came at Amazon sellers with a vengeance. Like if you sold any kind of Ninja, or they shut you down, and you're guilty until proven innocent. You got to prove your innocence.
That's crazy right there, because it's
so
like
you had people.
I didn't fucking know.
So you had people, for example, like the supplier that I was talking about in LA, right? Now they don't have Ninja appliances, but there's some suppliers that were buying the shit and they were selling it, and they were selling it to people like me. I'm thinking of buying it legit from a supplier, but that supplier was buying the shit from over there, right? So when Amazon wanted documentation, okay, well, show me your invoices for all this shark shit that you bought. Oh, right here. Like, okay, it's right here. No. Oh, okay. Oh, you bought it from so-and-so supplier? Oh, yeah, they done. They're no good. So, yeah, bro, so tons of people got, like, shut down. To this day, like, trying to get their money back, like, in inventory.
Well, good thing you didn't.
No, like, I heard about it, but I never did. I was like, man, I'm gonna get Telegram. To me, anything Telegram is just, well, I think the fact that I work in a prison, bro, like, I think when something to me just smells fishy, or like people, like, if I could read somebody off the bat, I'm just like, this is no good. You know what I mean? So for me right now, it's like, okay, there's this other opportunity on Amazon, which is the Amazon Influence Report, and you make money getting paid. You get paid to do video reviews on Amazon products, which is very easy. It's, you can make anywhere from 10 to like 6, 10, 15 grand a month in commissions. Or scale this Amazon business that I know what I'm, at least I got an idea of what I'm doing. So I'm like, okay, which route do I want to take? I have an understanding of how to operate a business, how to resell products. I could take that skill and open up like a liquidation store. I could take that skill, open up like some kind of other reselling model. You know what I mean? So I think right now I'm like,
sounds like you got a good problem.
Yeah, because you're just trying to figure out what can give me the most return. I don't want to say with the least amount of work, but the most return with me giving it all my effort, right? When I was a couple weeks ago, I was at an event in Las Vegas. It was a lot of vendors, suppliers from like every kind of category, gardening, whatever, across the country. There was like pool supply distributors. There was like auto parts. Like,
what are you doing there?
Trying to network with the vendors local to me. So that's where I found this one
to do what you said that you want to go straight to them now.
Go straight to the suppliers, right?
That's what you went to Vegas to do.
Right. It's easier when I could just, hey, let me put an order in for this, and this. Yeah. It's just easier now, right? Well, it's not easier, but it's more practical. As opposed to like hunting down shit, like hunting down the next hot item, which is fun, but it's a lot of work that goes into it. Not with a kid, it's just my time is limited when I can't be going to stores clearing out shelves anymore. Like those days are done for me. Maybe once in a while I do it, but yeah. So
would you recommend someone who wants to jump on that? Just do your research before you jump on it real quick, and then once you have a little research, go grab the bull by the horns, or what?
Yeah, I mean, like for me, it had become a full-time income. I just didn't do it full-time because I was scared, because I had job security, I had a medical insurance, and I had retirement. But I just said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's try it. I'll figure it out. And I have it, So my advice would just be to, first of all, you have to change your mindset. And what I mean by that is, if you want to take on starting any kind of business, you have to move away from your job being your only way to make money, right? Yeah. And I see this all the time. Is people hit me up. So since I quit, I had tons of people hit me up that I used to work with or work in a prison or law enforcement. Like, hey, bro, can you teach me? Can you show me how to do it? And the first thing I said, look, man, you have to change your mindset. You have to understand that this, like a 9-to-5 job and building a business, don't go hand in hand. The two are like mutually exclusive. They might have some similarities, but they're completely different. At a job, you have security. You have a check coming in every week or month, whatever. With building a business, you don't. You have to work at it to make sure you generate that income.
Yeah.
So your mindset has to shift from your understanding of your job just paying you every week, every month, to you can make money outside of your job. What way you choose? Well, this is one way that I chose, and that's Amazon, right? Now, I will say, once you reach that point where you're okay, I get it, I understand. You can make money outside of the career. You can make a full-time a living outside of your job. I did it. Then the next thing is, okay, where do I start? Simple YouTube search. Simple Google, YouTube search. How do I start an Amazon business? Right. You have to educate yourself as to the business that you're jumping into. And the first thing I say is learn the softwares, which is Keepa. That's first and foremost, right? So I had an old colleague. He asked me, like, "Hey, bro, like, where did I start learning this data?" I said, "Go on YouTube." I sent him a video, really good video, that like a tutorial walking step by step. It's like a 2-hour video. And after the 2-hour video, he goes, "Bro, like, I'm not gonna do this. Like, I take my hat off to you for doing this shit." He goes, I can't do this shit. I'm done. Like, it's just too much for me." You see what I'm saying? So it just takes a different kind of mindset. The same way you get up and go to work every day, that's effort. That's a lot of effort. It took me a lot of effort to get up to go to work. That's
a good way to put it.
The same way I got up every day at fucking 4:30 in the morning to take my ass to work to a job that I hated, it's the same effort I'm gonna put into building a business. That's the mindset I have. That makes sense?
Yeah, and then being there X amount of hours is the same effort that you want to put over here, you know?
And look, bro, I'm at home. Like, I went from working inside a fucking toxic ass prison to working from home, fucking taking a piss in my bathroom, eating food from my fridge. You know what I mean? It's great, man. So my advice to anybody is change your mindset before you start anything. And then once you start, you have to educate yourself. Whatever it is you want to do.
I think that's a good way to put it right there. And anything anyone's gonna do, just know that it ain't just a job application, boom, here's your hours, boom. No. Anything you want to do outside of a job, or just even a job, it takes the effort to learn it, to do it, and then see the profit, you know, of what you sow. So I think a lot of people could take that, you know, your story from where you were started, and then, you know, your time as a correctional officer, and then seeing here, and I could see the time lapses of, you know, where you started, and then getting comfortable, and then, you know, finally being like, I'm gonna move this way, and then right here too, in your Amazon, I guess you could call it career or business venture, that you're like, I should do this. No, I'm over here. Okay, I feel a little bit more comfortable here. Okay, where do I go from here? So,
right,
you know, a lot of people could take from that, and what's called, hopefully people do, because it is an interesting story from you to jump from corrections to like Amazon. Like, that's very interesting, you know, and hopefully people could take. I feel like something people could take from this is, don't be scared. Just fucking do something, whatever it is. Just try it, you know?
That's what I say. Just fuck it. Let's try it.
Try it.
Fuck it.
But all right then, Timo. It's it was a cool conversation to hear you go from a dude that was working at forklifts to, you know, being in a crazy ass prison and you know, getting your feet wet there and then really understanding what you were doing there to like saying like, you know what, that moment in prison that they killed someone, you're like, whoa, that day almost killed me, and being like, you know what, I gotta figure something else out. And seems like you figured Amazon out for the time being, and now you're in a different place that is better than what you thought you were gonna be 4 years ago. So,
and just to end it here, it's a great entry level way into a business because it's you don't need a lot of money to start, right? The money compounds, and then you have a lot of money to like, buy stuff and make a living off of it. But now it's okay. Now you have a basic understanding of business, how to run a business, how to manage a business, hopefully profitably. So now we're like, okay, what's the next opportunity for me? What next venture? Am I going to do Amazon forever? In all honesty, I don't know. Probably not, but I don't know. But I have learned so much over the last couple of years just by doing it that whatever other business I do decide to do, I have an understanding because I decided to make the leap and make the jump to do this full time. You know what I mean? So I will say that the freedom that comes with owning having your own, being self-employed, as opposed to going to a job and these are the days you're gonna work. And for me, it was working weekends and I hated that shit. So now it's like, now you kind of dictate your own schedule, and I don't have to request time off to be here on a podcast. I'm just, okay, cool, I'm there. You know what I mean? So the freedom for me was the real motive.
Eye-opening.
Yeah, that's the real motive. Do my time. So yeah, man. But I appreciate you having me on here, man.
Time is fucking valuable, man. That's actually that last part you just said. That's fucking badass. I like that a lot.
Yeah, man. Because look, for me, everything changed when I had a kid. Right? You got a little one. I got a little one. And being parents, it changes. Your mindset changes now, right? Because now you're not living for yourself. Now you have a little one that's relying on you. Well, for me, it was about how much time can I spend with him? Can I be am I going to be there when he starts walking, crawling, when he starts saying his first words? And luckily I was there because I'm here, I own business. Like, I was here with him when he took his first steps. I'm going to be here when he's taking him to school every day. So for me, I do this to have the freedom with my little one and my family. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what it's all about. It's my family.
I feel like most people, when they start doing stuff unselfishly, is when they start seeing the most reward out of it.
Most reward, man.
Whether it's the reward of money or the reward of the time of whatever that reward is to you. That when I feel like you start doing it for others instead of yourself, I feel like that's where you feel the most satisfaction.
Right.
Right. But
so yeah, man.
We'll end it right there. Shout out to my guy Timo for being on. Hopefully you guys
thank you for having me on.
Liked his story. Crazy stories he had there, and
it's very unique, huh?
Yeah, very unique to go.
So I was gonna say really quick before we get off. So on your last post, we want to talk about USA and Mexico. Want to start another one or what?
Yeah, we could. You be jumping in that.
A little bit, like it irritates me that the U.S. went back to Berhalter, the coach.
Okay, Timo.
Like, okay, I'm gonna be honest. Lozano, he ain't it.
Nah.
Berhalter ain't it. They're gonna host the next World Cup. They have Mexico has I guess the team's been getting better, but the U.S. has probably the best team they've ever had. Ever.
By far.
And like, I don't hate on Mexico. Like, I root for them. It's cool. But they're going in with some mediocre coaches, and I really hope that it becomes visible, even more visible during the Copa America, that they do something about it, because you can't be going into the World Cup that you're hosting with some mediocre coaches. Sorry, I had to say it, but that's just my opinion.
I think the internet agrees, bro. I think I wasn't the worst. I wasn't the most happy about re-signing them, but I was just like, man, no one. I mean, I don't know the background. Like, no one else wanted it. No one else there was no other offer. Why did we go from saying, all right, thank you, to doing all this big commotion and then being like, hey, welcome back? Like, it just doesn't make sense,
And a lot of people were like, what? So I don't know, man. I just hope that, we got the Copa America here coming up real soon. I hope that it becomes even more visible. Like,
so you want them out? Unfortunately,
I think I'm with a lot of people. I think
yeah.
he in it. I think he in it. He was never, as soon as the exit in the last World Cup and how they played against Holland or the Netherlands.
Seems like the team outthrew him.
It was visible that he got outplayed drastically, and he ain't at that level. He ain't at the level, that European level, where like you're gonna be playing. Copa America might be a little. It's not the World Cup, because you're not playing these European teams. It's not the World Cup. You are gonna be playing some better teams than you, but it's not European teams, right? But yeah, man, I think Mexico and the U.S. are going in with some like very, very subpar coaches. I think they need like not American coaches. That's what they need, or not Mexican coaches.
I think Mexico needs a lot more help, a lot more rebuilding than the U.S. I think the U.S. is a little closer to being
the U.S. The U.S. has a team. They don't have the coach.
Yeah, they don't have the coach.
I think if they were bringing ideally like I don't know, like somebody from Europe. I was gonna say Guardiola, but that's a stretch. But somebody that's
someone that has some sort of experience,
that understands how to bring talent, each unique talent together and play cohesively, against these, international teams that, because if you're Berhalter, bro, you're playing these CONCACAF teams. Let's be honest, the CONCACAF is no competition really. Yeah. It's and Mexico, I think. Yeah, I think they're gonna. I don't know. It's like a home. It's like they're playing like at home, because these, Mexican.
Mexican fans show up, man. That's something.
Yeah, they show up. They show up. Yeah, they do show up. So that is like a, but I think still, like, I don't think.
I think the U.S. talent is just better. Like, they'll find a way. Unfortunately, hopefully, Berhalter doesn't get in the way, which it seemed like that was the case yesterday. Yep. But talent came up, and some luck for sure. A lot of luck at the end.
A lot of luck that they needed, that he needed. And
I think it was going to be his ass for sure. I think it was going to be his ass.
Yep, and that's the thing. Like, I just don't see why. Like, but
Yeah. But
anyways,
all right, then, my guy Timo.
All right, man, for sure, bro. Thank you.
We have another podcast about soccer right there too. Shit.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, my guy. Well, I appreciate it. It was a long time coming, and should be up in like 2 weeks or something like that. We'll see. It's a lot easier to upload this than to do it with my camera. So probably be this Monday or next Monday. We'll see.
For sure, bro. Right. Sounds good, man. All right, man.
Spitballin Podcast. It's your boy Chris, my guy Timo. Peace.
Peace.